Hi, and welcome back to this week's devotion. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. And I guess it's so, because today I was driving by and saw this old burnt-out house. The Lord began to speak to me about a passage found in Isaiah 43. I'll share that with you in just a moment, but first let me share a story. It was Christmas 3 years ago. My son had got a BB gun for Christmas. He and I were out in the backyard learning to shoot when my wife came carrying out the cell phone, telling me that my neighbor in Tennessee, Jerry, was on the phone. When I picked up the phone, Jerry said, "Jeff, I've got some bad news for you." I asked Jerry what the bad news was, and he proceeded to tell me that our home in Tennessee had burnt down that morning on Christmas Day. I called my insurance company. The next day, we were in Tennessee, and it was cold, and it was snowing. My wife stood there arm in arm just outside the crime scene tape, or the tape the fire department had put up, and we looked into the burnout hole. To most folks, it was just a house fire, but to us, it had been our home. And as we stood there looking into what once was our living room, we could see where a Christmas tree used to stand, where a hobby horse had sat. As we looked into the living room, we could see where the dining room table had sat, and we thought about the many Thanksgivings and birthday parties that had been held there. Soon, the tears began to roll down our cheeks. And I tell people that it seems like the biggest arms that I'd ever felt wrapped around Kay and I that day and whispered to our ear the passage that's found in Isaiah 43, saying, "When you pass through the fire, I'll be with you." I don't know what your fire may be today. It may be literal. It may be figurative. It may be spiritual. It may be emotional, or a whole array of other areas. But this much we can be sure of. When we pass through the fire, He'll be there. God bless you, and we'll see you next week at Devotion Time.